Hello everyone, this is Princess here, and in today's video we are going to talk about the next story character for Chapter 6 Part 2. It is going to be Leila from Final Fantasy II. She's getting an EX and an LD. Vanille's LD is also going to be returning, and this is also going to be the last banner that will feature Gilgamesh's burst. So let's get started. So Leila is a dagger user and her crystal affinity is yellow. Her first skill is called Thunder 16. It is a 2-hit AoE Thunder Brave split HP attack that has 50% Brave potency per hit, and it grants Big Sisterly Boss for 4 turns. Looking at the extension, this will deal 4 Brave hits and then 3 HP hits. It has a 65% Brave potency and has a 150% Stolen Brave overflow. As for the buff itself, so Big Sisterly Boss raises the party's attack and max Brave. This extension will also change her Brave and HP attack into Brave Attack Plus and then HP Attack Plus. Her second skill is called Provocator's Edge. It is a 3-hit distributed Thunder Brave split AoE HP attack. It grants Swashbuckling for 4 turns and has a 60% Brave potency. For the extension, this will deal 6 Brave hits and then 2 HP hits, and it will have a 75% Brave potency and 180% Stolen Brave overflow. As for the Swashbuckling buff itself, so this grants her full evasion, it raises attack and max Brave, has 30% HP damage resist, and it will also lock enemies. In addition to that, at crystal level 30, this grants a last stand effect, and the extension will also boost attack and max Brave. Next we have her C65, which is Protect All, and this will grant party HP damage resist up by 20%. Looking over at Leila's weapons, her 15 CP is called the Mithril Knife. This will raise Brave potency and extends Big Sisterly Boss for 4 turns once using Thunder 16. Her 35 CP is called the Orichalcum, and this raises Provocator's Edge's Brave potency to 60% and then extends Swashbuckling for 2 turns. Alright, and then we have the EX weapon, which is Leila's Short Sword, and this will grant Lightning Turn. It is a 6-hit Thunder Brave HP attack dealt twice. It has a 50% Brave potency, a 150% Stolen Brave overflow, it deals splash damage, and inflicts Dazzle to all enemies for 2 turns. And what Dazzle does, if we go down here, it lowers Thunder Resist, lowers Brave damage, and also lowers hit rate. And then just looking at the EX passives, so 1 out of 3 raises Brave damage, 2 out of 3 will extend Dazzle for 4 turns, and then 3 out of 3 raises recast speed. Also looking at the EX Plus passives, so at 0 out of 3, this will raise Brave potency and adds 180% Stolen Brave overflow. 1 out of 3, you start the quest with attack and max Brave up. 2 out of 3, you will start the quest with Big Sisterly Boss and Swashbuckling for 6 turns, and the EX gauge will be at max. And then finally, at 3 out of 3, the EX becomes a 6-hit Thunder Brave HP attack dealt 3 times and has a 50% Brave potency. Next up, we have Leila's LD weapon, which is called the Ripper, and this will grant Detonator. It is a 4-hit AoE Thunder Brave split HP attack dealt twice. It has an 80% Brave potency and a 150% Stolen Brave overflow. This will grant Storm Surge for 6 turns, and when Storm Surge is active and when Leila evades an attack, this will trigger Counterattack Order. So what this does is it heals the party HP based off of 40% of max HP, raises Party Brave by 200% of attack, has a 120% gained max Brave overflow, and it grants a turn after the attacker and then moves the allies' turns after her own. So, like to summarize it, it's Party Brave, healing, and turn manipulation all in one. So definitely a lot to go through. And then looking at the LD passives, so 1 out of 3 raises Brave damage, 2 out of 3 will extend Storm Surge for 12 turns, and this will also change her Brave and HP attack into Brave Attack Plus, which is just 4 Brave hits, and then HP Attack Plus is a 3-hit Brave HP attack with a 120% Stolen Brave overflow, and then both of these will have a 60% Brave potency. And then lastly, at 3 out of 3, so this will just add another use to her for her LD, and this will also raise attack and max Brave with each limit break. And then lastly, for the Storm Surge buff itself, This will raise the party's Brave and HP damage, the Stolen Brave overflow, and it adds a 10% party HP regen, and the extension will add Brave gain based on HP damage. Finally, we have Leila's armor. So her 35 CP armor is the gold hairpin. So we'll raise her HP by 680 and her attack by 72. And then we have her armor over here, which is Leila's bandana, her 90 CP armor. This raises initial Brave by 110 and max Brave by 220. And then when you realize it, raises HP by 680 and then defense by 84. And then her high armor is the Leila model, which will just raise her Brave cap damage by 15%. And then when we look over at Leila's calls, so her standard call is going to be Thunder 16, which will raise the caller's party, raises the party's attack and max Brave up by 10%. Not the caller, sorry. And then for her LD call, so when you bring her in to use Detonator, party will get 5% HP regen, a 10% stolen max Brave overflow up, and then their Brave damage goes up by 10%, while HP damage goes up by 5%. And then finally, we have the spear and the artifacts. So Leila's spear is a B spear called Target Boost Up. So when you attack an enemy targeting the self, it will boost max Brave by 10%. And then for her artifact passives, you really just want to go for attack, max Brave, and then her C50, which is called Endless Voyage Up. Okay, so now we have the boss for Chapter 6, Part 2. No surprise, it is going to be the Emperor, but in his final form. And he can be pretty, he does have some pretty nasty attacks. So first off, well, the first thing I want to mention is that when the orb goes down to 0, it is non-lethal, so it's not going to kill you, but it can delay you by 3 turns. So some of the things I would watch out for, so looking at Curse here, it can lower the party stats, cut in turn order, which I believe was, yeah, right here. So it moves, I move instantly, as it's called here. It can cut in turn order and just have instant turn rate for 2 turns. And then it just standard like reducing Brave damage and then Brave gain by 70 and 80%. So then looking at the orb itself, so the orb appears when the battle starts, cancels below 80%, and then reappears below 50, and it goes up by 8 when you evade its attacks. So aside from Leila, Galuf can work for this, Kane, Ida, well, Ida has it on her LD, so it might be a little tough. Shadow has it, Cater, Jack, Prompto, so you have a lot of variety and in terms of evasion. So now I'm going to head over to JP and I'm going to showcase Leila's skills. I will be right back. Alright, so we are back in JP now. So over here is the final fight, and then over here is my Leila. So I don't really have her LD on her, so I can't show off Detonator, but I do have her 15, her 35, and her EX at least, so I can show that off. So there's the Emperor final form. And so Leila's going to be the last one to get a turn. That's fun. I'm just going to do this fight normally, and then when we get to Leila, I'm going to use, I'm going to start with her S2 actually. So here is Provocator's Edge. Just like that, and now she has Swashbuckling, the overhead buff on her for 6 turns. So now when the Emperor tries to attack her, he misses. Alright, so now we're going to do Thunder 16. I like the effect for that, that's pretty cool. And then her EX is ready, so we're going to use that next. I don't know why Vanille got an instant turn rate right there. And once again, he misses. Alright, so here is Lightning Order, I think it was called. Oh wait, that was Cryle. Oops! Alright, so here is Leila. And we're gonna use Lightning Turn. That's what it was called. There was actually a bug that happened when Leila came out. The sound that happens when characters use their EX, for some reason, it didn't happen with Leila. I don't know why, but it was really weird. So this is pretty much all there is to Leila, and honestly, if you really, really want to see her shine, I would say go to content creator Sinewave. He has a saga of just all these different runs of with Leila on his channel. So if you would like to see that, I would recommend going to his channel and checking him out, and give him a subscription too, because he does a lot of really good runs. So with that being said, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you are going to be pulling for Leila, and I will see you all next time.